Hello and welcome to another episode of Billy Fishing in the far north of Norway. That cast just went out into 25 to 30 meters of water. The rig was the Pulley X. That is a rig from a series of 3. I will link that rig build in the description. It's the Pulley P, the Pulley D and the Pulley X in there. And they're scratching rigs, for want of a better word. And the bait on it, blow lug. And I will show you the rig when it comes in. Okay, so I'll just tighten up on this and then we can get on with the show. Yeah. So I'm just going to wind the line slowly through the water until the gripper starts to bite, and then I am going to set it in the pod. If you do not do it this way, the line will stretch and pull the lead towards you eventually until it does bite, and you lose most of the distance you gained from the first cast, and perhaps you won't do as well. I said perhaps. Sometimes the fish are very close here in Norway. That was a lob of about 70 meters or so. And the gripper's already biting and I am happy. I think there's already a fish on it. Ridiculous. So it's spitting in. I took the reel out of gear and I set it in the pod. I didn't even get to the tripod before a fish got it on the rod. Let me see if he's still there, or she, or it, or whatever. I didn't even get to see. Obviously it's coddling, right? Well, I didn't find the hook. Haha. Ratchet on, clutch off. That's it, if you don't want to lose your gear here. Happy days, because I'd like to get started here. They're not helping with their biting. They're being very mischievous, are the fishes today. Before I was so rudely interrupted by a little coddling, I was about to talk about the bait, right? And on the right hand rod, I'm going to put out a bait for halibut and cod. Baits are going to be coley, and I'm going to show you how I do that now. I'm going to show you the rig as well. As usual, in Norway, I'm going to use the South African rig, and this one is set up with a dingle dangle and a Mutsu circle. Yes, so there's the dingle dangle. This was created by the South Africans so they could fish a bait below a circle hook and cast it, okay, because baits work best below circle hooks. In fact, it's the only way they really work properly. If you put the bait on the hook or above it, it's not going to work very efficiently, and most likely the fish will just swallow it. This way the bait is soft, malleable, and will be sucked into the fish's mouth first. The hook will be the last thing. When the fish turns to swim off, because you never strike with a circle hook, the hook sets in the corner of the fish's mouth. So long as you follow these few simple rules, circle hooks work fantastically. People struggle with them because they're not used to the way that it works. If the fish is coming towards you, you cannot strike at all. You just have to wait for that fish to either go sideways or away from you, and then it will set the hook. It is the only drawback with them. If you are interested in fish conservation, use a circle hook. I don't lose very many fish. It does happen, but it happens with J hooks as well. And some people will say, oh, you can't get them to work. That's why. It's as simple as that. So I'm going to show you how to bait up now. The baits today are coley, as I said, and I'm going to start with this guy here. So the bait goes between the beads, and it needs to be a little bit shorter, because when you put the elastic on, it's going to spread out a little bit. And I'm going to use this whole fish. Right now I'm just cutting it into 2 fillets. So with the head, I just cut through the bottom jaw and I lash it onto the dingle dangle with some bait elastic, of course, latex bait elastic. So that's the first bit there in between the beads. So I'm going to cut this literally in half, and then I'll have 4 more pieces. I'm putting the big bits on each side of the head that's flat, just to make it more aerodynamic, and then the 2 tail bits will go along the side. You will see what I mean. I'm not casting very far, so it's not exactly critical, but it's always nice if the bait is neat and fits into the fish's mouth easily. Fish find it easier to take short baits than they do long baits. Secure it well, and then you start the process of stopping it coming off when you cast, and this is done by going either side of the ring at the dingle dangle at the top. I will link the build for these dingle dangles in the description as well. So I come down to the bottom on one side of the bead, I come up to the top to the other side of the jigging ring, and then I just go and crisscross like that. And you do this until you're satisfied with how much elastic you've got on it. Don't do it too tight or the bait will twang together and it will ruin your day. Not a big bait for Norway, right? I will use whole 35, 25 centimeter coalfish for fishing like this, but I've never fished up this end of the world. This is the first time, and I'm not sure of what size the fish are. In the last video you would have seen a really nice cod, double figures, Nice fish anyway, especially on a spinning rod. So that's the first bait there. That little clip there goes in the lead weight on the end. So now I will show you the bait and the rig as one. There it is, top swivel all the way down, right? And I will explain about the length of the rig now. I have it that long because the water is very deep and I need that bait to rest on the bottom if I do want to catch a halibut, right? So that's the way I fish it here. And the bait just goes onto this bait clip here. And that's basically it. And if you want to know how to build this rig, I will link it in the description. It's fantastic for casting oversized baits. But most of the time in Norway I fish this. It's effective. It fishes for a long time. It is not a halibut to cast. You know what I mean? You're lucky if you catch 2 in a day. You're lucky if you catch 1 in a day. So you have to keep the baits in the water for as long as you can. And this is how I tackle it. So I'm going to get this bait in the water now. So there it is. Here it goes. So the ratchet's set, so is the trap. So now I'm going to walk you through the gear. These are some rods that I've had for a very, very, very long time. And it's the Abu Sovereign XP, 2 of them. And also my go-to reel for most situations, the Penn Meg 525. All hail the 525. Boom. Okay. Those reels are pushing on to about 18, 19 years old now. Haven't missed a beat. Sure, they're a bit loud, but you would be too. Still cast fantastically, and they still drag up the fish like nothing else. So you might recognize this pair from earlier on where I caught that nice cod, and it's the day after, fishing up to midnight and past. And right now it is just gone 9:30. The small fish are here. I'm waiting for the tide to turn. And there's a little stramming here, right, with some shallow water, 7 meters, and right here there's 10 to 15 meters, and right out here in front of me it goes all the way out to 30. This is generally the type of place that I will look for halibut in. Deep water next to shallow water where their prey hang out and feel comfortable, and the halibut can lie in wait and move in when they think the other guys aren't watching too well and scoff them, right? There are different variations of it, but this seems like a very typical place. Not far from the open sea. You can see it out there, those islands out there. Just past them is the open Barents Sea. I'm happy to be here and have caught my first Barents fish as well. Fantastic. Is the fishing better in the north of Norway than it is further south from here? I don't think so. I think it's better down there because of the proximity to the continental shelf and the amount of plankton that comes with it. Up here you're further away from the continental shelf and not so much plankton. The chain is a little bit more diffuse, if you like, but the fishing is still good here, obviously. That's the news of the place we're in fishing. The traps are set. What does it bring for Billy? Only time will tell. Stay tuned, fish heads. So I was just retrieving it there to rebait it, and unbelievably I couldn't see this little codling on it even. Very strange. Anyway, so we'll get him up and we'll get him back in the drink. Only a little guy. There he is. So there's the first catch. Back he goes. Bye bye. So now I will show you the flatfish rig, right? This is what I call the pulley X, right? There's a pulley up the top, and down the bottom it fishes like a Wessex, yeah. But I have a relay clip right there, so it clips down, right? And on the bottom I got an angel clip that brings both baits down behind the lead weight, maximum distance. Not that it's an issue here in Norway, but if you're fishing an open beach in the Ireland or the UK or Belgium, the Netherlands, France, wherever, this rig is fantastic. You fish anywhere. I've used it in Spain, Portugal, you name it. I fished there with it. Doesn't matter where you are, this rig works. The baits for this are going to be blow lug. So these are the worms from the lug digging video just last week or the week before, I can't remember. Time Warp Land, right? I just have them here in some all-purpose kitchen toweling, and that's just to suck up some of the moisture. And originally the worms were quite big, and by the time you salt them and you vac bag them, they end up like this. Perfect little flatty bait, right? I will link the video of how to freeze the lugworm in the description. If you don't want to freeze them, they will last. So far these are over a week old, and I've just had them in a vac bag in a fridge, right? And they're still good. I think I'll get another week or two out of them even. So they will last for a very long time if you're on the road. I'm going to get these onto the rig and I'll show you how the hook works. So I developed this, right? I call it the Flatfish hair, okay? And it is my interpretation of what a dingle dangle is. But for worms, live worms or dead worms, that is just a hook that's clipped and bent into shape. I'll link how to make that and this in the description, okay? It's easy, take you 5 minutes. So you just push the worm down onto the hair. So I'm gonna get this bait in the water. So down it goes. What it catches Billy, nobody knows. So it has been about 2 hours since I started fishing, and other than landing in Tiddlertown for the moment, I'm reaching the top of the tide, and it's never particularly good. Usually you get the action the low side of each tide here in Norway. When the tide is pushing strongest is usually when you get the best fish. Just little rattly bites on the big bait and little tiddlers on the flatfish rod, and so far it's just small codling. And I'm looking forward to the end of the tide, which is somewhere in the wee hours of the morning when the tide will start to fall. Stay tuned, fish heads. It's all about to kick off, maybe, hopefully. So I just got picked up. Here we go. And it's a lugworm bait, just a single lugworm bait. Hopefully it's a flatfish, not a codling. Yeah, we're in. Yeah, we're in. Not a particularly great fish, but it's a fish. Yeah. Sharp pumps. Here's the leader. So what we got? What we got? Nope, it's a round fish. And it is a Brosma. Okay. Nice. Okay, this is only ever the second one of these I've ever caught, and the hook's right in the corner of his mouth, and you have to be careful. They've got some serious teeth, so I got him unhooked and get you a look at him. There he is. Nice little Brosman. They do get a lot bigger than this, and it's really quite odd to see them in water this shallow. I'm actually going to keep this fish because I tried to put him back and it died. It's from barotrauma, so I'm going to keep it. If you want to see how the ikejime fish properly, I will link that video in the description. So, a fun fact about the fish that I just called a Brosma, that is actually the Scandinavian word for it, but in English, right, it is known as a tusk, right, which funnily enough is Scandinavian for cod. So it is about 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, and apart from the Brosma and the packet of fish fingers, it ain't going too well. So I'm going to have 2 last casts, one with a lugworm and one with coley baits. So there we go, last lug bait going out. And there's the last coley bait. A little bit smaller than usual, but that's all the bait I got left. So we'll get this one out and see what the future brings. Yeah. So I just got picked up. I wish you could have seen the bite, but you didn't. Let's see if it's there. This is the last cast fish, right? Yeah, we're in. Coming right at me. Must be a cold fish. The coley bait didn't come to anything. I was just packing that one up, and this one went screaming off. What have we got? What is it? Real codling. Ugh. So there he is, always with the hook in the corner of the mouth. So there he is there. Pound maybe. So we get the last cast codling back in the sea. Goodbye buddy, thanks for playing. Under the pier he went. So I can't end it like that. The next time I turn the camera on, I'm going to be somewhere new, somewhere exciting, and hopefully catching a better fish. Stay tuned. So, hello and welcome to this portion of the video. I have moved to the northeast of where I was near Nordkapp, and I'm a little bit closer to Russia than I was before, basically. And I'm on an island. I arrived here last night and I was greeted when I decided to have a quick flick around the local pier. A nice halibut of about 110 centimetres following my lure, and I fished for that guy for the rest of the night, but nothing came of it. It leads me to believe that I'm in an okay kind of place for fishing. So I find myself here. I'm not going to say where I'm fishing. So this water in front of me ranges from 15 to 60 metres in depth. And is there any fish there? Who the hell knows? But there's a pretty good chance it's been Arctic Norway. There is a fairly good chance that there is a fish there. But this is where I'm going to fish. And there's plenty of water. And hopefully there's plenty of fish. So we will get a jig in as soon as I introduce you to the gear. I've got two setups with me, both of which are Japanese. You cannot get them in Europe, okay? Or the States, probably. But you might get them in Australia. The heavy rod I'm going to use is 30 to 100 grams. It is the Abu salty style, yes. The other one is the Salty Advance. Is 30 to 80 grams. On the Abu I have an 80 gram slow jig. On the Shimano Salty Advance I've got a 60 gram fast jig. So let's get a jig on and see what we can get up on the beach. Yeah. So up in my head you go, you know. So I'm going to go with the light rod first of all. Let's get a fish on this rod. I like my Salty Advance a lot and I'm very happy with it, and it will do the job until I get the Beast Buster repaired. Unfortunately it does not seem to be very snaggy. Wow. So the jigs I'm using today have been printed and painted by myself. Also I tie the assists as well, and this is so I can fish deep water into shallow and still catch fish. At this time of the day the most reactive light is UV light, and it makes this paint on this jig fluoresce in deep water, basically speaking, and the fish go nuts for it when they're there. And here comes a load of fish, whole load of fish on the surface, and I don't know what they are, but I will put a jig straight through the middle in the hopes that there is something big after them. The most likely codfish or herring. They're all going for the fishing line there. He's big Aegis. Little collie. I don't know what it is they have about fishing line, but they love it. He's following it all the way in. Look at him. Nibbling away at it. You big Aegis. Stop it. I can feel them pecking at it. And I can feel the mosquitoes pecking at me as well. Oh, they're probably eating the mosquitoes. Good lads, I like it. So you see that pier I'm pointing at? I'm going to go there and I'll pick you up over there. Yes. Hello! I was over there. Hello, I'm here. Yeah. And hopefully the mosquitoes haven't followed me. I put this on because they were eating me alive, literally. Yeah, very itchy. I think I will change to the heavy one. And it's got a nice 80 gram. I'll show you. So here we go. The heavy rod and the heavy jig, right? So twin assists, which I've tied myself, slow jig hooks, right? And a nice 80 gram slow jig, yes. Printed, painted and cast by myself, right? And I'll get it in the sea, see if it catches a fish for me, because I'm quite hungry. And perfect for this depth of water as well. We are down. Let's commence with the jigging. And if I catch a really big fish, I've got a crane to hoist it in. Excellent. Won't need me gaff. Come on, fishy. Here we're in. Yep. Yes. About time. What? Where is it? What is it? Codling. Just lift him up here. Yeah. So that's one for the pot. See if I get another one. Not the best fish in the world, but it's legal and it will keep me fed. So this is the next guy I'm going to use. It's 100 grams including the tail. Bill Hurley's tails and my jig heads. Some people might not be familiar with this. It's a rat tail. You can get it to stop jiggling around the place. It doesn't have a paddle, but it's got a hell of a lot of motion in it when it goes in the water and you jig it up and down. And if you look carefully, you can see this guy has received quite a lot of damage from a lot of fish, and still it's fishable. You know, it's been hit by decent fish multiple times and you can still fish it. And this is because Bill doesn't use any of this nasty, really soft plastic. So we get this jig in the water, see if it catch me a fishy. Yeah. And oh yeah, I'll link Bill's details in the description if you have a hankering for some good lures. Yes, okay, up my head you go. So I'm going to swim this along the bottom. Whatever's there, can't resist it. The hook is a 12-0 BKK. And as you can see, casts like a bomb. Let's see what we get this time. So I'm into a fish now. Nice fish. Oh, is it a halibut? Please be a halibut. Doesn't feel like a cod. If it is a cod, it's a good one. No, what is it? Oh, it's a brosma, another one. I'm doing well with these guys. I mean, like, what's the chances of it? They pull a bit, these guys. There we go. They don't go back well, these fish, but they do taste extremely good. Get you a good look at them. That's 2 brosma in one video. What's the crack there? Like, does that ever happen? It's never happened to me before. So there he is. 2 brosma in one video. Not bad, right? Nice. So the 100 gram jig saves the day. I have my friend there on the stringer. He's coming around for dinner tomorrow. I'll be happy to meet him, especially when he's got some parsley sauce going with him. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to continue with the jig. I'm not sure I've ever heard of one being taken on a jig before. Usually they're taken on baits. That's the first brosma on a jig I've ever had. Amazing stuff. Maybe this is a move forward for me. There was years before I could catch a ling, and now I've had a 10 pound from the shore and several ling on a jig. So yeah, I mean, why not? So we get the jig on and we get a fishing. Phew. Right, down it goes. If it catches Billy another great fish, nobody knows. Okay, let's see what we got this time. Yep, we're in again. Yep. What have we got this time? That's a good fish. Oh, he's off. Damn. Yep, he's on again. Stupid fish. I got you. Oh, he's pulling, man. Fish after fish now. That's 2 casts with this jig and 2 fish. What does that say? Whoa. Is it? I imagine there's another brosma, right? I found the brosma hole. They pull, they really do pull. I was very surprised about that. Oh yeah, what have we got? It is another one. No way, even bigger. We're in brosma land here. Nice. Yeah, there we go. Another one. 2 casts, 2 Bossman. How do you like that? This place is rotten with them. Sometimes you find these fjords and they're just dominated by one type of fish. I think I might have found it. Another one for the tea. Yes, that one's bigger than the last as well. Am I going to pull up a giant? Maybe. They like this jig anyway, that's for sure. So there's another one. Right, that's 4 I've caught now in my life, right? 4 and 3 in one video, right? Fantastic. Look at them, fantastic fish. Anyway, the tusk or the Brosman, whichever way you like to call it. Of course, it is related to cod and ling, and very closely to ling. As they get bigger, if you can see the orange stripes, they disappear, they just become totally brown. So the smaller they are, as with a lot of fish, they are more pretty. There we go, nice. Cod's already gone in the cooler. Right, let's try it again. 3 in a row, let's go. That's amazing. 2 casts, 2 Brosman. Let's see what else this tail can pull up for me. Love you, Bill, thank you very much. So Bill Hurley's jigs doing the business as always. Let's see what we get this time. So I'm just going to twist this along the bottom. I'm not going to lift it very much at all. It seems to be the way for the Brosman. Yep, we're in. Yep. Yep. Another good one. Yep. Oh, this is a good fish. I think this will land this one. The gaff's all the way over there, of course. Oh, I go over to where the gaff is. Oh. Yes, nice fish. Yes. Oh, they are so strong. This is much better. Oh, this is a much better fish than the last time. Oh, I can feel the leader grating through his teeth. Oh, please be out of it. This is really big. I don't think it's a Brosman. If it is, it's my best for sure. Oh, here it comes. Oh, it is a Brosman. Another good, a good one. Whoa, these things are pulling, man. There we go. Okay, 4 Brosman in one video. Oh, he's a beast. Wow, that's a good one. So I think it's time to stop fishing. So there we go. I'll call it 5, right? Just to be, not to cause any trouble. So there's my PB Brosman, right? I say it's a chunky fish, 5 or 6, right? It's a nice fish, right? Woo! And in Norway, it's known as poor man's lobster, and that's because it tastes fantastic. It is delicious. This fish is gorgeous. Better than cod. It's not better than halibut, but it's pretty close anyway. So I'm going to get this guy made and onto the stringer. I think this has got to be the only YouTube video with 4 Brosman in it. Or tusk, right? That's the joy of Norway. You never know what's going to happen when you're here. And I said it in other videos, you find these little pockets in fjords where you find fish that you'll never find anywhere else, and this is one of them, right? So I'm definitely not going to say where I am. These fish are quite rare, in honesty. Can you believe it? 4 Brosman or tusk in the one video. Am I indeed blessed? Yes, I am. So I'm Billy. This is Billy in the far north. I hope you liked it. Wherever you are in the world, remember, I'll see you on the beach. Bye.